I'm so excited to see everyone. Welcome to the fourth annual Excellence in Treatment Awards. I'm Joanna Conti, the co-founder of Conquer Addiction and Vista Research Group, and I am here with my daughter, Karina Moneson, who is the reason behind Conquer Addiction and also our co-founder.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. We're so excited to celebrate you.
So I wanted to tell you a little bit about how Conquer Addiction came about, or more realistically, why it came about. And that is because there were 5 or 6 years where Karina was in and out of addiction treatment. And each time I was forced to make what I believed could have been a life and death decision about where to send her for treatment on the basis of how nice the person on the phone was. And we were very lucky. We always found really excellent treatment. But I was well aware that it was just blind luck. And when the worst was behind us, I said there has to be a way for the families coming behind us to find the treatment centers with the best outcomes. And that is what led me to start a website back in 2015 where families could search for treatment, and those with the best independently validated outcomes would show up at the top of their list. But back in 2015, there were 5 treatment centers in the entire US who were tracking their outcomes. And I thought it doesn't make sense for us to start, trying to advertise Karen and 4 of the Foundation Recovery Centers at that point. So instead, that led me to start Vista and work with every one of the winners tonight. You don't have to be using Vista in order to submit your outcomes results to Conquer Addiction. And actually, we hope that some other outcomes research companies will join the fray and also start doing really scientifically standardized outcomes research. But for now, it's Vista and Vista's clients. And we're just really thrilled to be here tonight to recognize the most effective of the treatment centers who are tracking their outcomes in the US.
And also, I think that we just really wanted to take this opportunity to celebrate you. Tonight is about you, and we're incredibly grateful to see this progress on tracking outcomes, and also just really want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the amazing work that you're doing in your centers to make the world of treatment a better and more effective place. As my mom shared, I obviously am in recovery. I've been in this path. I went to my very first outpatient center at 19 and went to my first inpatient treatment center, I think maybe 2 months after that. I was not a high bottom case. And, there were points when I had completely lost control of my bodily functions. I was unable to wake up. I came to, and I immediately started drinking until I passed out again. And that was my life for about 6 years. And through the help of some absolutely incredible treatment centers and counselors and the faith and support of my family, I was eventually able to get sober, and my life today is beyond my wildest dreams. I have 2 beautiful girls. I work in a pretty high-paced corporate career, and I'm just incredibly grateful every single day for my recovery, and I don't take a moment of it for granted, nor do I take for granted the fact that it would not have been possible had I not received some truly completely life-changing support from a number of wonderful treatment centers. So you all know the wonderful work that you're doing. You know how many lives you've saved, and you also know how devastating this disease is and how many people unfortunately are not able to get there, and how many people ultimately get buried or end up living lives that aren't worth living. So the stakes are high. You're doing very meaningful work, and we're grateful for you. And tonight we're celebrating you.
So I want to take just a minute and describe how the awards are determined. So every center that is scientifically following up with their patients is eligible to apply for an Excellence in Treatment Award every September. And all of the current applicants have set abstinence related goals. The centers have said we define success as the patient refraining from all drugs and alcohol for at least the last 30 days at 6 months or 1 year post-treatment. In fact, there is another way that centers can earn Excellence in Treatment awards, and that is if they follow a harm reduction philosophy. If the patients report meeting the goals that they set themselves, they're also eligible for Excellence in Treatment awards. But for this year, we don't have anyone that's submitted with harm reduction goals. So the awards are based on how many patients were reachable and said they had not been using drugs or alcohol for at least the last 30 days at 1 year post-treatment. Now, because it takes 2 full years to get a year's worth of data for a year's worth of patients, the first year that a center submits their results, they are allowed to submit 6-month results. So we do have one of the winners tonight that's submitting 6-month results. Everyone else has been doing outcomes for several years, and their results are based on 12-month results. The reason this is fair is that we find that a high percentage of patients are abstinent at 1 month, and then that drops pretty substantially to 6 months, and it stays steady between 6 and 12 months. And so what in our experience, 6 and 12 month results, success rates are very similar. There is one change this year that I want to bring up, and that is that a number of centers this year have brought into previous substance use disorder treatment centers, they have accepted patients that are in treatment for general mental disorders and may not have a substance use disorder. So how we have handled those situations is we have screened all of the patients for substance use disorder, and any patients that have a moderate to severe substance use disorder are included in the Excellence in Treatment application. So that's how it is done. Turn it back over to Karina, and then we'll start issuing the awards.
Yeah, let's just cover a couple of quick housekeeping points. So there are about 22 of us on the line right now. So if everyone could please mute themselves for the time being, just to make sure there's no audio overlap and things like that. And then when you hear your center's name called, at that point, please unmute yourself, make some noise. We want to hear, you celebrating or saying a few words, things like that. So please just keep that in mind as we're going through the program, and let's go ahead and get started.
The first bronze winner with a success rate of 42.5% patients who were reachable and abstinent at 1 year post-treatment is Enlighten Solutions. Woohoo! Let's hear it. Where's Enlightened? Make some noise.
All right. We were muted.
Frank, can you show us your award? This is the second year, by the way, that Enlighten Solutions has won an Excellence in Treatment award.
Right.
And I think they get the award for the most fun videos. So here we go.
All right, guys, you ready for some info? We are in running for this year's Excellence in Treatment Award again through Vista Research. We need to know what that mission is. How are we going to continue to provide excellent care for our clients?
Client-centered care.
Implementing evidence-based practice.
Yeah.
Strengths-based perspective.
Case management needs complete.
Holistic approach. Mind-body spirit.
Jennifer Shipman.
Strengths-based perspective.
I will ensure that each team member gets their duties completed. Each score will always be in on time.
Let's go!
Let's do it!
Let's go!
Hey, where's Ben?
Where is Ben?
Where is Ben?
Where's Ben?
I deserve that award.
Oh, just needs to go on the case.
I'll be back next year. If not, for the last event, mine.
Think we're gonna need a bigger case.
This is now the second year that Enlightened Solutions is winning an Excellence in Treatment Award. What do you think accounts for the fact that your treatment is so effective?
I think the way that we combine our clinical and our holistic treatment views in treatment are two of our biggest strengths. Like we really look at each client as an individual, and we go through everything, you know, from the time of pre-admissions to, you know, the time of discharge. We're looking at every aspect of each individual's recovery, what they need moving forward, you know, what are their strengths, what are the things that they have opportunities to grow within. And we're able to really customize their treatment plans with really great clinical approaches that are, you know, evidence-based and, you know, really well studied, but not generic. You know, like our treatment every single day is different. You know, the only thing that is consistent in our program as far as like a treatment track is our DBT informed or our DBT adherent treatment program. You know, the DBT adherent program, they're meeting twice a week in group therapy, and they're learning 2 DBT skills per week. You know, they have 24/7 phone coaching, and they're able to really dig into learning so many new tangible skills.
Like, give me an example. What would somebody focus on this week, for example?
So this week, I believe they were looking at distress tolerance. So we were teaching them how to learn how to be more tolerant of themselves. They're learning how to like scale their distress, you know, scale their anxiety, scale their depression, and implementing those new skills and learning how to like understand better what those triggers are that happen for them to engage in new healthy behaviors versus the same behavior that they used to, which would be either using or self-harm or, you know, falling into that pit of despair of depression. The rest of the time that the clients are, you know, here in treatment, other than our DBT program, they're really engaging in groups that are customized to them every single day. So the clinical team meets in the morning. We talk about all of the clients, what are their current needs, and then we come up with like a fun, you know, engaging topic for them to work on. So we'll see like what the commonalities are between each client, and then we'll break them out into smaller groups to really dig in and focus on to, you know, what are those clinical goals on the treatment plan? What are the barriers for them moving forward? And then really being able to just nail it clinically. In addition to the horticultural therapy and the nutrition that's being integrated into their treatment plans too. So the clients are, you know, on the treatment plan, it says like, you know, they're going to engage in yoga and Reiki, sound healing, aromatherapy, equine therapy, music therapy, art therapy, like all of those more non-traditional things that happen in holistic care where there isn't a lot of research is really being implemented here in addition to that clinical. So the client's day will bookend. So they start with holistic, then they're in clinical services, and then they finish with a holistic service. So in the morning, we get them back in their bodies so that they can engage in the clinical work. In the afternoon, we get them back in their bodies after, you know, they're going through that deep clinical process.
All right. And so our next bronze winner, we are pleased to announce with 42.7% of patients reachable and abstinent for the previous 30 days at 6 months postpartum. Congratulations, Brighton Recovery Center.
Woo! Yay!
Yay! Woohoo!
We can't see you.
I know.
Where are you, John?
There we go. Hey, thank you.
Woohoo! Are you
Congratulations.
guys in different places?
Oh yeah. You got us at the end of the workday, so everybody went home to do this.
Well,
It's 5 o'clock in Utah.
congratulations, Jonathan. It's really exciting to see you in the very first year that you're applying.
Thank you. It's an honor. We work hard.
We were really impressed to see that Brighton's results were as positive as they were for the first year that you've been submitting for Excellence in Treatment Awards. What do you think really accounts for the excellence in your treatment's effectiveness?
I think that's easy. It's just the people. We have an amazing team of providers, clinicians, therapists, medical providers, frontline staff, down to the kitchen crew and everybody else that works in the treatment environment really honestly cares. And in this field, it takes a certain kind of person to work in this field, I think. And it's taken us quite a bit of time. You know, we've been open for about 8 years now, almost. Excuse me. And I feel like we're even through COVID and through the employee shortage period, we still are able to, hire and retain and develop really, really good people that care, people that have been in the situation themselves, people that have had family in this situation, with addiction and mental health components and history and experience. And the people that come and stay with us really find a niche there. And I mean, you should see the text strands, when things are escalating with a patient, everybody's involved. Everybody is working really hard to try to get that person to stay in treatment because we know the severity of what happens if they don't. Because as we know, this population of people will challenge you to the moon and back, right?
Yes.
They will. And, they are the smartest, most resourceful people that I've ever met. That's what keeps me in here, because there's so much talent and there's so much hope for people to get through this initial part of treatment, get into aftercare and really do something great with their lives. We see it over and over and over again. And those people that go on and do great things or aspire to do great things sometimes end up as employees with us, which in my mind is the best, because right there you have a living, breathing example of success that they have done on their own, but that Brighton's been a part of, right? We were able to support them through that. And we have some of those people that started out as frontline staff and have moved into leadership. And I've got several of them, people that have gone through our program in leadership or managerial positions throughout the company. And that gives me so much pleasure because I love to see people thrive.
And then they will serve as tremendous models for your patients.
100%. They're running groups. There's like, I was in your shoes at one time and I know what it's like. And now look, I'm working here, and lots of that speaks to a lot of people. Like, okay, if that guy can do it, right, I can do it.
Fantastic. The third bronze winner of the 2022 Excellence in Treatment Awards is Aton Center. Pat, Jim, Leslie, congratulations.
Leslie's not here.
You get Kevin.
It's a consolation prize, but just wanted to say thank you on behalf of Jim and Patricia Brady and really the Aton family as a whole for this recognition, and just want to make the promise that we'll continue.
We can barely hear you. Can you come a little closer?
Sure. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity on behalf of the Brady's and the Aton family as a whole. Thank you for the recognition, and we'll continue to try to work on our outcomes. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You guys do wonderful work.
I don't have a happy dance, so.
For the fourth year in a row, Aton Center is one of our Excellence in Treatment Award winners. So congratulations again. What do you attribute Aton's tremendous outcomes to?
Well, thank you. We are very grateful to be in the front runners of the Excellence in Treatment Awards once again. And I would say that my answers are similar as they were last year. And even if you had asked me almost a decade ago, it'd be quite similar. We've always really focused on individualized treatment. And for us, that means doing individual therapy every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and offering people that individualized time one-on-one with our talented clinical staff. Also really keeping our groups small and our milieu small. Aton Center's maximum capacity is 25 residents, and we rarely are at 25. So we really have a small ratio and can offer really individualized treatment and individualized care across the board, from the clinical team to our resident assistant staff to our nursing staff. Really taking time to dedicate to each individual person that's here on our campus.
Fantastic. Well, your results speak for themselves. They're tremendous.
Well, thank you. We really work hard to support our residents and support them from a non-judgmental perspective, meet them where they're at, and really allow them to choose their course in recovery by enhancing their motivation and just offering them a ton of options and support as they move forward in their lives.
All right, congratulations again, Aton. And now we are moving on to our very first silver award winner. And so with 45.4% reachable and abstinent at 12 months post-treatment, congratulations to California Behavioral Health.
Woo! Woo! Melissa, why don't you open your award?
All right.
You hate Christmas?
Hey, look at us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We're very, very honored to have this award. We appreciate it.
No, you deserve it. We're excited for you.
Hey, CBH, you just won Conquer Addiction's Excellence in Treatment Award.
Thank you so much for the award. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Conquer Addiction.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Conquer Addiction.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Conquer Addiction, and thank you to the CBH staff. Because without all of you, none of this exists, and we'll continue our mission of providing dignified, safe, and respectful treatment for everybody that enters our gates. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think accounts for the effectiveness of California Behavioral Health's treatment?
Well, Paul and I were actually just talking about that. We think it's our staff, our people that work here. We have a very dedicated staff. They're very personable. And our kind of number one philosophy is really about connection and transparency. And I feel like that speaks volumes even in our outcome numbers.
It comes to truly like not, just breaking down walls and making people feel that they're being heard and being seen and being treated truly as a person, as a human, as an individual, because everybody has different experiences and different things that comes through the door, and they're struggling, and we want to do our very best to keep that connection with them, not only here, but as they continue on their path outside of here.
And how do you personalize the treatment during treatment for individuals?
Well, I really think that some of the main things is that when we have clinicians that are not only with them on an individual basis, but also in group too, that they can really see what's going on for the person kind of all day, every day. We have clinicians and medical staff here 24/7. So we're really in communication with each other and being able to recognize, okay, this person is really struggling today, or this person is really struggling with this thing. I can see it in group and I can also see it in individual. So we're getting really a depth that we really want to focus on and be able to just hone in on, and then individualize the treatment plans and the medical plans and all these things to be able to really help them. I think because we can see them in so many different places in their treatment program, we're really able to narrow that down and talk with them. Also, the other thing is like, I know people say, we see our therapist once a week and that's it. Here, they're seen all the time, not only in group and in individual, but they see them at lunch, right? They see them on a morning walk. They go with them on a hike. So it's not just in the rooms, it's in all these different places. So they get a lot of time with our clinicians and with our staff to be able to really individualize that.
No, it really comes down to the people. It's all about the people, and it's all about giving the very best opportunity for that person that sits in front of us. Whatever that treatment plan is going to look like for them, we could have 18 people and 18 different treatment plans. What's going to work best for them, not just here, but for life. Because, most of the people, they've struggled and they've had relapses and they've had things of that nature. Let's put you on a plan that's going to make life better. Because that's what we all want, is that better opportunity for someone that sits in front of us.
Definitely.
And our second winner of the Silver Excellence in Treatment Award, with 46% reachable and abstinent at 12 months post-treatment, is Multi-Concept. Congratulations.
Yeah!
Woo!
My imitation of a bobblehead. Hey, thanks for the award.
Evan, I was really pleased to see that Multi-Concept Recovery won an Excellence in Treatment Award again. To what do you credit your tremendous success?
Well, I think that, multi-concept recovery is kind of built on the belief that people deserve a choice in their recovery, whether it is a primary substance use disorder or some other mental health disorder as a primary. And what happens here is when they come in, they get exposure to two very different types of approaches when it comes to treatment. And when they are further along in their treatment episode, they get to choose which program has been working best for them, which one they're more attracted to, and which one that they want to continue on receiving services from until they leave us. And
what are the
that is
types of programs then? I'm sorry.
So we have the traditional therapeutic model, which is very kind of atypical at other treatment centers. And it's, all the very familiar types of groups with, DBT and CBT and relapse prevention types of groups. And then the alternative program is the emotional intelligence and mindfulness program, which was really based off of a lot of the work on Dr. Paul Ekman's work on emotions cross cultures. It's integrated with Vipassana meditation to build awareness and resiliency to destructive emotions, and really helps to build empathy as well as a byproduct of that, right? Because if I can recognize the emotions in myself, I can also recognize emotions in others. And then in response to those emotions, I can provide what that person needs, right? So people in the alternative program, the emotional intelligence mindfulness program, are actually meditating between 20 and 30 minutes at the beginning or end or both of every group in that program. The groups are designed so that there's enough time. So all our groups are an hour and a half long, so that the 20 to 30 minutes is either takes up the beginning of the group or the end of the group to kind of close out that group nicely. We also have, the staff here that put their hearts into everything they do every day. Highly passionate, highly driven, highly compassionate and empathetic, right? And it shows in the work that they do with the clients. The clients love being here every day. They come in and they're happy to show up to treatment, right? And there are one or two outliers here and there, right? But for the most part, people enjoy coming to multi-concept recovery. They enjoy seeing their therapist. They're asking for multiple sessions a week. They want more, they want more, they want more.
All right. And for our final silver winner with 48.6% reachable and abstinent at 12 months post-treatment, congratulations, Roots Through Recovery.
Yeah.
Their audio is not working in the office, so I have to cheer really loud
for it with their enthusiasm on the screen.
Yes, Maynard's gonna do the dance.
What color is it? Silver?
Yeah, silver.
How do you know?
Oh. He's gonna drag this out. There it is.
What is it?
Thank you guys. We are super honored, and all credit to our amazing staff there. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
reason I'm passionate about this program, I believe it allows the clients opportunities to engage in finding their own path so that it's not just treatment here from 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening, that what happens here, they're given a lot of tools, or they're given space to find tools that work for them in their own unique lifestyle, so that it's not you changing who you are to become something. I just think that that's really safe, and the clients have awakened to that part of themselves that respond to just their deeper truth of who they are. And I think the staff here does an amazing job of finding out who the clients are and supporting who they are.
If you were to sum up Roots in one word, what do you think that word would be?
Belonging.
Trust.
Hope. Love.
Connect.
Inspire.
Thrive.
There you go.
Can that be my word? Can my word be Debbie?
If you were trying to sum up in, just a minute or two, what is it that makes Roots Through Recovery so successful? What would you say?
I would say that, it's sort of, I think, three things. One is that we are trauma focused, that our goal is to uncover and provide the tools to resolve unresolved trauma, the underlying cause of the things that are surfacing that people are presenting as symptoms, like mental health issues and substance use issues. The other thing is our incredibly long length of stay, being a long-term aftercare program and having the time to work with our clients, doing the deep trauma work, but also, developing that, the clinical relationship, that relationship between the client and their therapist and the team. And then I think the other thing is that, like I said, we're not attached to any ideology. And so that allows us to keep the program dynamic, and, we're always at the forefront of research, new things that are coming up that, this could be an effective modality. And so we bring that into treatment, and, we're just trying to find the thing that works for each individual person, because it's going to be different for everyone.
And now for our gold winner of the 2022 Excellence in Treatment Award, with 48.9% of their patients reachable and abstinent 1 year later. Congratulations to Avery Lane.
Yay!
You gotta get on. Doggies.
What a pretty pup. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you.
yay.
Way to go, Camille.
Thanks, Dr. Smith.
Phoebe wants that.
Congratulations. Camille, I was so excited that you were an Excellence in Treatment Award winner the very first year that you applied. What do you think accounts for the tremendous effectiveness of Avery Lane?
I think having a women's only environment is that number one piece that helps us kind of provide that feeling of safety and security. Many of our clients have a degree of trauma or PTSD that they have struggled with them in the past, which is why they choose a program like ours, because we are trauma specialized. So I think having a program for women by women is definitely helpful. And then just, I think the use of a bunch of these different modalities that might not always be seen in treatment, our approach is rather unique. So I think it's a combination. I think it's our team, the modalities we treat, and then our specialization and treating the whole person. I think first and foremost, I have to credit the staff that we have. A lot of our staff members have been with us since when we opened 5 years ago. And I think all of us have that shared vision of wanting to create something different. We still have that startup feel where we're constantly looking at other different modalities and techniques that we can bring in. And my favorite is trying a different technique and then seeing how it impacts our outcomes through while they're in treatment and after they finish treatment. And it's been really fun that way. You know, we're not owned by a corporation. We're very much just a collective collaboration of creative minds put together, of passionate individuals that want to give back. And I think that's how we start. And then I think the other piece is just treating the whole person, not just their addiction, treating their addiction as a symptom, and being able to look at them biologically, psychologically, socially, spiritually, and treating them in all of those ways, especially with the stress that comes along with treatment and running a program. The focus can be shifted away from your primary vision into creating a successful business. And one thing that I've constantly had to come back to for my own well-being is my why and why I started doing this in the first place. At the end of the day, I'm a woman in recovery wanting to give back to other women and that are wanting to become sober. And I think that's super important. I get asked all the time, am I a clinician? Am I a doctor? Am I an MBA? And I'm not. I'm none of those titles. I did go to college to get a bachelor's, but at the end of the day, I'm a woman in recovery who wanted to create a team of like-minded individuals that specialized in their field and wanted to create something different. And I think the more that we just keep focused to that primary vision and just trust that if we maintain that primary vision, everything's going to work out, then, you know, there's endless possibilities.
Amazing. Congratulations to Avery Lane, as well as to all of our award winners tonight. You guys are fantastic. You're doing incredible work. Thank you for changing the world and for changing so many lives. And also, I just want to say that there's some serious potential careers in filmmaking in the works. I think those videos were incredible. Thank you. Thank you for all of the energy that must have gone into that. That was a lot of fun.
And I also want to share my congratulations to everyone who's an award winner tonight, but frankly, to everyone who is putting their patients first by measuring their effectiveness. And once you're measuring your effectiveness, you can work on continually improving it. What's been really exciting to me is to see that the number of treatment centers who have submitted applications for excellence in treatment has grown every year. And not just the number, but the success rate of the winning center has increased every year. And that's what we were really hoping when we started this, that we could work with people who are putting their patients first, are very mission driven, and help you measure how effective your treatment is and help you hopefully continually improve it. And so we are just really thrilled to be where we are 4 years in. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, a deep thank you to all of you for the work that you do. You saved my daughter's life and so many others, and we see it in the data. So thank you so much for everything you do. And we have a little short finale, and we'll let you go on your evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah. Well done. And I just hear the first baby crying.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.